What's been happening in your social media trends. Neo Motloung from Digital News joins me now. Neo, welcome. Thanks very much for joining us.
Thank you, Natasha.
And I suppose the big one this week has to be the case that we saw in the National Assembly this week, that debate on recalling the president.
Yeah, that was a big story on social media. We're going to show you a graph right now, but what happened is that you had over 9 million impressions on social media, and you also had 10 million over 5 million impressions on social media where people are talking about the topic. It reached over 3 million social media users, and most of the tweets that are coming through, it's mixed reaction. You have people who are saying that the president did not take those decisions alone, so it's not the president who's supposed to be impeached, but the ANC or the whole top six of the National Assembly. But you also have a huge number of social media users that are saying that the president needs to step down because he broke some of the constitutional laws or the judge. According to the judgment that came out by Mokwe.
All right, another big story has been this week the Panama Papers, that
Yes.
giant leak of documents implicating a number of leaders around the world, their families, well-known people also being implicated.
Yeah, it included some South African numbers. You have the Mad Dog who created that pyramid scheme in South Africa where a whole lot of SAMU employees lost their pension funds. But we have a map for you guys showing how far this story traveled around the world. If you go to the next slide, in South Africa, it has over 1% of South Africans are talking about this topic. When you go to America, you have about 16% of people in America talking about the topic. It shows how far it went, and you've got people in British talking about the topic, 18% more than the Americans, and going down to Australia where you had over 3% of India, where 4% of people in India talking about the topic, and when you go down to the Aussies, it's about 3% of the people talking about the topic.
And when you say people talking about, this is specifically people tweeting
about the topic.
Any other social media that you guys gauge, or is it specifically Twitter?
It's specifically Twitter. These are the people who are engaging with the topic on Twitter. Yes.
So I suppose that also gives you a sense of the countries that really engage with Twitter.
Yeah, it does shows us the countries that are engaging on Twitter. But the thing, when the story came out, it implemented the Russian president, Putin, and it only had 0.1% of people in Russia talking about this topic. We don't know if it's restrictions on social media or is Russia protecting their president by not, putting out this news on social media or TV.
All right. Okay, and then on Wednesday, President Zuma announced that the municipal elections will be held on the 3rd of August. How has the response been to that?
I mean, a number of people still have issues, especially when it comes to voter registration, about the addresses. So there's still a lot of confusion on social media, but it did trend on Wednesday. You have over 160 people engaging with the topic on social media, and the impressions were around 500,000, like 500,000 of people talking about it on social media. So it is a big issue.
Okay. And then just a sports story for us. Orlando Pirates confirming that Siyabonga Sangweni was retiring due to injury. What's the response been to that? As
you can see on the screen, it's about 800k people. It reached over 800k people on Twitter, and the impressions stand at 1.4 million. People are saying Pirates is going to lose out because he is such a strong player, and there are people who, like the sports minister came out tweeting saying that it's going to be a huge loss in the whole soccer fertility. So it's bitter sad for people that he's going out. Yeah,
but again, that reaching quite a number of people. So again, it gives you a sense of who's on Twitter.
Yes.
The stories that people like, that people follow.
That's the thing about Twitter. It shows us news agencies what is really important, what are people talking about, and that it just shows how incredible social media can lead us as journalists and to see what people are talking about.
Fantastic. Neo Motloung, SABC Digital News, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
All right, well, that's a look at the trends on social media as we usually do on a Friday.